This is Shane Vaughn. He's a Trump theologist. Give this a listen.
Have you seen the upgrades to the dignity of what it looks like in the Oval Office? It went from a plain Jane. Donald Trump has goldified the Oval Office.
And that has made it more dignified?
And paid for it out of his pocket.
No, he didn't. What are you smoking? You think Trump paid for all of this out of his own pocket? I just have to ask, you think that Trump is richer or poorer today than when he ran for president in 2016 or 2024? When did he have more money? Now or 10 years ago?
You and I didn't pay one dime for the beauty. He's made it look like Buckingham Palace, something to be proud of.
Buckingham. So you're telling me that he's trying to make himself out to be a king then, right? To say it looks like Buckingham Palace? What makes you think that we should be proud of having a king or gold adorned everything?
We're not plain Jane people. We're the greatest nation on the face of the earth. And our Oval Office should display that grandeur, that austerity. Thank you, President Trump. He paid for it out of his pocket. And guess what else? He's paying for it out of his own pocket. That grand ballroom. That gold.
No, I don't know why he keeps saying he paid for this out of his own pocket.
Covered ballroom. Somebody said, I don't like all that gaudy gold. Then you're not going to like the kingdom of God very much.
You know what it reminds me of this obsession with gold? It reminds me of the gold calf from the book of Exodus or Leviticus or whatever from the Old Testament. The golden calf where people melted down their jewelry and made a golden calf to worship or whatever. You know what else reminds me of that? Come to think of it, this does. You remember this? This is at CPAC 2021, a literal golden statue of Donald Trump. That's weird, right? The point is that Donald Trump is the embodiment of the Antichrist, honestly.
Where streets are even made out of it, according to people's understanding.
Really? According to people's understanding, not according to the Bible, but people's understanding.
The Ark of the Covenant, covered in gold. The altar of incense, covered in gold. The table of shewbread, covered in gold.
So he's saying that gold is a holy, godly color, and Donald Trump, it represents that godliness. Again, he is actually a Trump theologist, like actually believes that Trump is basically the second coming of Jesus. He's fulfilling the role Jesus was intended to fulfill on his return.
The menorah, covered in gold, because gold is godly. Gold speaks of heavenly things. And the United States of America was founded by the decree of heaven. So thank you, President Trump, and I pray that ballroom has gold toilets. I can't wait. What a great day to be an American.
Just disgusting, dude, honestly. This dude is disgusting in more ways than just one, though. Check this one out.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
The only thing that's coming today is the crucifixion of Donald Trump. Oh, no.
This one is from July 15th, 2025, by the way.
Not by the Romans. Yeshua, Jesus Christ, was not killed by the Romans.
Yes, he was. It was not the Jews that killed Jesus. It was the Romans.
Oh, yes, they drove the nails. But it was the Jews that delivered him to them. And one can't help but wonder.
You can see the narrative in the New Testament turn against Jews. It was a very, like, the writers were very, they had an anti-Jewish bias. Just like in the book of Deuteronomy, there was an anti-North bias. The writer, whoever it was not Moses, operated out of Judea, the southern like sister nation to Israel, and had an anti-Israel bias. And in the New Testament, you can see the same type of bias against Jews coming out. The Jews were not responsible for Jesus' death. The Romans were. That's just a fact.
If history is not repeating itself and we are not delivering Donald Trump to the crucifixion of his enemies,
This is yet another comparison between Jesus and Donald Trump that this guy does. He's done like a billion of these comparisons. He literally thinks that like Trump is the second coming. Listen to this. Late July 2025, Trump was doing this whole anti-Obama bit and trying to spin up a conspiracy theory about him.
If you count from the flood date forward, their judgment was to end after 70 generations, when they would be released back on the earth to once again deprave mankind and turn them into mere beasts again.
Okay, this is an ass-backward interpretation of some Bible verses. This is like pseudo-prophecy nonsense he's laying down for us. And who's he talking about? Is he talking about the Jews? I'm not even sure, actually. Is he saying that the Jews were like destined to turn people into beasts?
Well, when you do the calculations, the year of their release was the year 2008.
I have to wonder how he got there.
Every year that Barack Obama arose, a man who brought with him not just policy shifts, but spiritual perversion and spiritual inversion, turning all right side things upside down. It's almost as if when Barack Obama rose, all the restraints fell off of American society.
Oh my God. He's literally saying Obama is like a Nephilim, basically. By the way, Shane Vaughn believes that the Jews that live in Israel today are not the real Jews. They're imposters. And the real Jews are us, you and me, specifically Donald Trump. He thinks that Anglo-Saxons, all right, he thinks that the Jews traveled up over the Caucasus Mountains and went to Europe after Babylon destroyed Israel in 586 BCE. And they lived in the Angle Isles and in Saxony in the Germany area. And then they took a boat over to the British Isles and became the Anglo-Saxons, and then sailed over to America and founded the United States. He thinks we're the real Jews. This is pure, unadulterated delusion.
All of the taboos, all of the restraint, everything just sort of fell off from mankind when these fallen ones were loosed again. So yes, Barack Obama in 2008 was the year that shifted America.
Absolute delusion, dude. He unironically thinks that Trump is like something special. Listen to this one. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult. And you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
We would never be this defensive of Donald Trump if you would not have forced us into this cult mentality. Yeah, we would now fight for Donald Trump. Why? We believe in justice.
Right. Justice.
And when we see a man that God's put his hand on being attacked night and day, you are forcing us to look like a cult.
It's my fault you look like a cult. Right. Okay.
We're patient and steadfast in our support of a single man. We are cult followers. Yes, we follow a man. Yes, we do. We drank the Kool-Aid and it's orange.
Jesus Christ, dude. Just to come out and admit it, like, are you proud of that? I don't understand. How did you come to the point where you think it's okay, acceptable in any way as a Christian to follow a man like this? At least he's honest. Check this one out. This one is from 2021, early September.
Do you know God's favorite job is a gardener? Adam was a gardener.
I thought it was carpenter.
You are being called to the Garden of America to pull out the weeds of liberalism, to pull out the disease of democracy, and to restore the walls of the republic, and to rebuild the hedges of holiness, and to place within this nation the hedgerows of the law of God, the rule of law, and the rule of this great republic.
Destroy democracy. He wants to destroy democracy. That is where the Trump movement is today. Absolutely psychotic. Tell me what you think in the comments.